Hey guys, FJH here, and today I'm going to show you guys some of the new features that were recently added to Evoto AI, and I do want to go over those ASAP because there's some really great features. But before I do that, I do want to let you guys know that this video is actually sponsored by Evoto. But even though it is sponsored by Evoto, they have no input on what I'm going to say in this video. And if you guys know me, if you guys talked to me or seen me at any of the photo conferences that happened over the past year, you would know that I truly believe in this program. I've used it when I tethered live at my demos. I've used it at my workshops. You guys have seen me do that, but it's such a great program that saved me so much time and energy over the past 1.5 to 2 years since I started using it. So I definitely recommend checking out Evoto AI. You can actually use my discount code, which I believe is FJH15, to save up to 20% off. The very first feature that I wanted to go over in today's video is the AI backdrop distraction removal. Basically what it does is just remove all the unpleasant things in an image that is going to be taken in a studio setting. So in this case, I have this image of my niece that I took for her 3rd birthday earlier this year, and I'm already in the correct section, the background adjustment section. So if you're in another section, just make sure you're now in the background adjustment section so that you can see the different features that I'm about to go over. As you can see on the screen on the right there, the shortcut for the background adjustments is B. Right here where it says solid backdrop refinement, I'm going to click where it says distractions removal. I'm going to enable that, and then it's going to use AI to detect any sort of things in the image that you want to remove. And in this case, it did an excellent job at figuring out that I wanted to remove this section over here where it shows, I think that's an Apple box, a little bit of a C-stand, and then the wall that doesn't have the cyclorama behind her. I'm going to re-enable that right now, and then you can see that it does say auto detect distractions. Sometimes depending on the image, it might not automatically pick it up, so you can actually click on that and you'll see a drop down menu of distractions and no distractions. You do also have the option of cleaning up that backdrop, and I'm definitely going to take advantage of it on this photo, because if I zoom in closely on the bottom, and it might be a little bit difficult to see, but there's a lot of dark spots on this backdrop, so I'm going to just zoom all the way back out, and I usually do that by clicking on the fit button right here. And now I'm just going to enable clean backdrop. Once I enable it, you can see that it did remove a lot of those different kind of dark spots on the floor. It kind of evened all that out, and now I have a nice clean backdrop. Personally, I don't mind it for this image, but in case you wanted the background behind the subject to be a little bit more even, there's an option called unify lighting that you can enable, and it's pretty much going to kind of even out that background in case you want that. But in this case, I don't really care that it's a little bit darker in some areas, like there's a little bit of a gradient, so I'll just disable that feature right there. This feature works so well that I actually have several examples, different photos to show you guys it working. So I do want to go to the very next image, which is this photo here of Deblemish. Again, I'm just going to click where it says distractions removal, enable that, and you can see that it did an excellent job of getting rid of all those different things that I didn't want to show up in the image away from the image. This photo here is one where it didn't automatically detect the backdrop distractions, so I do want to show you guys that right now. I'm going to enable distraction removal, and then again click on where it says no distractions, and then click on distractions, and you can see now it removed all the different distractions around her that were in the image. But I'm going to go a little bit further and clean the backdrop by enabling clean backdrop. I'm going to see what unify lighting does. It didn't detect the backdrop, so now I'm going to go ahead and click where it says solid backdrop, and yes, it did even out that backdrop. But one thing that could happen sometimes is you'll get some banding in the image where it removed the distractions, so you actually have a color banding removal option as well, so I'm going to enable that, and it did a great job at removing all those distractions. Of course, this is a bit of a zoomed out image, but I could just crop in if I really did like this image and wanted to deliver it to the client. Here's another image where I want to enable the distractions removal and show you guys just how well it does. So let me just do that, and you can see all the distractions just went away. This last image here is going to be the most crazy example of this feature, so I want to show you guys exactly what it did. Let me click on distractions removal. I'm going to enable it. It didn't automatically detect it, but again, I can still just click on that section, click on distractions, and you can see just how great it did at removing all those different things, how I extended the background. And of course, you can do the clean backdrop, unify lighting to make it even better, but I just thought it was crazy how well it did at removing all those different distractions. For the very next feature that I'm going to talk about in this video, which is called Deblemish clothing, I wanted to show you guys how it worked on this excellent headshot that I took of my brother-in-law. And if you guys are like me and you take any sort of close-up shot of a subject and you find that you see a lot of the different, pieces of lint or hair or dandruff or whatever on the outfit, this feature is going to be perfect for you. So I zoomed in quite a bit at 111% to show the outfit, to show all the different pieces of lint and hair on his shirt, so you guys can see, or his suit, but you guys can see different things. There's the one here, there's a little bit there, there's a lot in this section here. So what I'm going to do is just enable the Deblemish clothing. I'm not actually in the correct section, so I'm going to go to that section that I need to be in, which is going to be this little shirt icon right here. I'm going to click on that, and again, the name of this feature is called Deblemish clothing, so I'm going to go to that and enable it to 100%, and you can see exactly what it did. I'm going to show you guys the before and after, before and after, before and after. And of course, also in this section here, before and after, it did an excellent job at removing those different things. And it's so hard to kind of describe how crazy it is that it did that so quickly, because if you guys did that manually for years like I did, you would know it would at least take a couple minutes to remove those little things the client might not even see, but it would waste my time. So now that I can do it in a click of a button, or actually a slide of a slider with Evoto AI, it's awesome. The very next feature is actually right next to Deblemish clothing, and it's to be called Clothing Edge Smoothing. And basically this is going to be perfect for what you're going to see in this photo that I took of the Bonnie earlier this year. I zoomed into this section of the Bonnie's outfit because it's going to be perfect for showing the feature called Clothing Edge Smoothing. So I'm going to enable that to 100% so you guys can see what it just did, which was just basically smooth the outlining of her outfit so that you don't get those, in and outs of the outfit, which kind of feel like a wrinkle a bit. Actually, it probably is a very big wrinkle on the outfit. But basically, you can use this feature to kind of get rid of any sort of wrinkles on the outlining of the subject. So yeah, again, if you guys are very finicky with your photos and the different things that you're seeing in the outfit of the subject, you can enable this feature and the other feature, Deblemish clothing, to kind of ease that picky state of mind that you might have like myself. The very next feature is going to be armpit removal. That sounds a little funky because it's not removing the armpit, but just making it a little bit more pleasant. So I actually use this feature for every single photo shoot that I do where an armpit is showing. So let me show you guys the feature right now. I am still in the clothing and accessories adjustment section, so I need to exit that and go to the retouching section, the portrait retouching section, which again, the shortcut is R. Under blemish removal, all the way down under where it says body refinement, you can see where it says armpit touch up. I'm going to enable that to 100%, but actually before I enable it, I'm going to zoom in to the Bonnie's armpit right here so you guys can see exactly what it's doing. So I'm going to enable that, and now you can see exactly what it did. Here is the before and here is the after. The very last feature I wanted to go over is simply called tattoo removal, and it's very self-explanatory. It gets rid of tattoos. And I just want to let you guys know before I show you guys this feature that I absolutely love the tattoos on the subject here in this photo. But again, this is depending on what the client wants. Let's say, for example, they tattooed the name of their ex on their arm or something, and they don't want it to show up in the photos that you take of them. So that's going to be perfect for this feature. I'm already in the correct section, which is portrait retouching section, and under the blemish removal, on the very bottom is where you're going to find that feature where it says tattoos, which is still in beta mode. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see exactly what it does. So I'm going to keep it like around right here, and then I'm going to enable the feature. And you can see that it did an excellent job, a very excellent job at removing those tattoos in a split of a second. You can see that on the top shoulder, it didn't quite get all of the tattoo. And if you guys experienced that yourself, it didn't get a tattoo in a certain section, you can actually add certain areas that the tool could then kind of reevaluate and try to get more of the tattoo. So in order to do that, in order to add sections, you can actually go to under where it says tattoos, where it says tattoo mask adjustments. You can click on that, and then you can see that everything in red is where it thought to remove a tattoo. So it did actually get the top section of the shoulder, but I want to kind of see if I can paint a little bit more on top of it so that it could probably then kind of be like, okay, I need to get more of that tattoo in that section. So even though for some reason on the screen right now you're seeing an arrow, it is a brush. So I'm going to just click on this section here, and now the brush showed up, and I'm going to see if it gets more of that tattoo now that I painted a little bit around that tattoo. I'm going to click OK and see what it does. And yeah, it did an excellent job of removing the tattoo. So definitely make sure that you use that tattoo mask adjustment section in case you also experience some tattoo areas not getting removed. Here is the before, and then here is the after. And that's pretty much the brand new features that I wanted to go over from Evoto AI that you guys definitely need to check out if you already use Evoto AI. And if you don't already use Evoto AI, then you definitely need to at least start using it. You don't need a credit card to sign up, and you can use my discount code to save some money. Again, it's FJH15. I almost forgot to tell you guys about something huge that's coming up on September 16th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Evoto AI is having a huge event over in New York to announce brand new features and a brand new product. I'm going to be attending this event in person, so if you guys want to join me virtually via the live stream that they're going to be doing for the event, you can register for that live stream using the link that's going to be in the description area below, as well as in the pinned comment. It is going to be limited to the first 1,000 people to sign up for that live stream, so be sure to register as soon as possible. See you guys in the very next video.